Well, I can tell you the guys in the studio are just itching to get into chatting about that game. So much drama and so much to talk about, especially the ref. Well, he could have certainly shared that prize with Zane Kirshner, who did phenomenally well there. In a little bit of, I suppose, sunlight in the haze of what was an incredibly disappointing outcome at the end of it all. Ashwin, not a couple of clips to talk about. Yeah, and unfortunately, a lot of them surround the ref.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ashwin, we had a fantastic first half, and then we had a very indifferent second half by the referee. And it all started with this great tackle by Bismarck du Plessis. Why he ever got a yellow on this one, nobody will actually understand this score.
If you look at the slow motion, you can see that he was totally committed to the tackle. That didn't look high, and I think a lot of people agree that that was really unfortunate.
Yeah, but the yellow card, but what we would have liked to hear from Mr. Referee himself, because we did mention the referee can actually play a part, but we should have heard this from Mr. Referee, because we're all a little bit tired of him today, that's for sure.
My mistake.
Definitely your mistake, Mr. Referee. And then I'm going to show you the next one, you know. And this is also, it's questionable if it was a yellow card.
It is indeed, and you know, it's unfortunate because you see this quite often in the game. The referee feels that this is a yellow card incident, and I mean, we've talked about it, and you said that, you know, potentially foul play, unfortunately, and that doesn't necessarily look, but it could have gone either way. Especially seeing Bismarck now already being on one yellow card.
That's the problem.
It was not, you know, it wasn't something he was supposed to be on, and then with that yellow card, all of a sudden he's off.
Yeah, and see, now it's suddenly the red card played a part, but the red card should never have played a part, but we should have heard this again from Mr. Referee.
My mistake.
You are so right. 2 mistakes, red card, absolutely, boys. Whatever you say, he destroyed the second half.
No, he certainly did, and he made a couple of my mistakes. But those moments certainly didn't help. In fact, I was looking at the tweets that are coming in, and they reflect all of that. Using the hashtag #SSRugby, by the way. Sia saying, absolutely soul-destroying. Someone needs to cite the ref. It's not going to happen, Sia. And Jono saying, rugby was robbed of a competitive game, and that's why we are so upset. It's just taken away from what should have been a great contest.
Yeah, I think South Africa's spoken via Twitter, but we've chatted about it off camera, whereby we're all looking forward to this game, you know, 1 and 2 top sides in world rugby in contest, but that failed as soon as the yellow cards happened. It is a contact sport, we didn't see that, and with that we just failed to get into the game. You know, we were playing catch up, we were nowhere. And Nick touched on it, I think, leading up to the game, just saying it feels we won't be able to chase the game. We need to be in the lead, and well done to the All Blacks. I think it just sets up Ellis Park 5th of October, I think, to a great contest. Yeah,
it makes it, yes, we are obviously disappointed, Mitch, but one of the hard things to do now is going to be for either coach to go back and say, these were my best performers. How do you now evaluate the key performances and obviously plan for the next round, Mitch?
Let's put aside the result and the performance. I'm sure that's the last thing on the coaches' minds. There's 2 things that the IRB need to take note of here. And the thing is that 15v15 need to stay on the field. To have a red card and to go 14-15 at the highest level where so many people invest time and money in this game is ridiculous. And the amount of time that's spent on TMO decisions on the goal line to determine a try, yet when there's sanctions outside, further out the field, which determine whether a player stays on the field or not, is done within an instant.
Without the TMO?
Yeah, without the TMO. So to me, you know, we've got qualitative feedback. They've got more technology than they've ever had in the game. Let's be serious about making these decisions. That the impact is huge.
Nick, I'm asking you last because I needed you to first breathe.
No, I'm afraid this was an absolute disgrace. A match of this quality deserved to have 15 players on the field for the whole game. If Bismarck du Plessis had lifted and driven a player into the ground, if he had punched someone or kicked him on the ground, no excuses. That was a shocking decision. Now, how can referees protect each other by saying they're only human guys, you know, players can knock the ball on and make mistakes? Rubbish. They have the use of a TMO. They have the use of a slow motion replay. There are 2 assistant referees on the side of the field. The referee had every opportunity to re-look at that. He ruined this game as a spectacle because of that first yellow card, which wasn't. We had to play for 10 minutes with 14 men. Because of the first yellow card, the second, which was debatable, at best debatable, so many players go in with a handoff and it was just haphazard that it hit the guy in the throat. But because of the first yellow card, Bismarck gets the second. So we played 50 minutes with 14 men because of a ridiculous decision by an official. It's a disgrace, Kola, and it needs to be said.
And not forgetting that, of course, there are brand new protocols, which we were talking about just last week. The referee is now able, at least from last week, was able for the first time to go to the TMO and say, let's take a look at the decision. I can make the decision myself on the field, looking at the big screen. And in none of those instances did that take place. I don't know if you're still alive. I wonder. We haven't seen us since 95. Mitch, the Kiwis, how would they rate their performance today? It's going to be incredibly tough to say, well, before we go to Ellis Park, this is what we need to rectify.
I think they'll be very realistic, you know, that they were very lucky to get away with it today in the context of the game. But I think we haven't been talking about too many positives, you know, because of the decisions made in the game. But I think, you know, what I love about the way the Springboks are playing at the moment, they've got a lot more variety in their game. You know, they're a far greater attacking threat than they've ever been, which is also demonstrated even before Bismarck's red card. And the other thing too is that good sides, that they never had a choice how to lose today, but they always have a choice how to come back. And so they've got to use this adversity that they experienced as a group today as strength going forward. So who cares in 2 years' time about this result if they win in England or go on to win this rugby championship, because they use this in a positive way.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to find the positives, but they're going to have to do that. Nick, and we know Jean was sort of biting his lip there because the guys, unfortunately, aren't allowed to really be harsh in their criticism.
No, I've been there as a coach, and there's a protocol, ILB protocol, that states that the captain, neither the captain nor the coach can make any disparaging comments about the officials, which is why we, on this show, and on any other decent comments and analysis show, should point out the errors of an official and the way in which, you know, one person's mistake has actually really spoilt a great spectacle, probably watched by, you know, millions of people. You know, and it's just not good enough in a professional game. Now, looking at the South African side, you know, we can't walk away from the mistakes we made when we were playing at 15. That was a really bad error by Willie Leroux to run out. No communication from Pienaar to say to him, you've got time, turn back inside, don't go out. A 5-yard line out is going to be a guaranteed try to the All Blacks. Very poor tackling by Yanni du Plessis. Let's look at them. Poor tackling as well by Mornay Steyn in this game and by Pienaar in this game. So there were elements that they're going to have to pick up. But I tell you what, there were lots and lots of brave rugby players, Springbok rugby players out there. Vermeulen, Lowe, Etzebeth. I thought that Beast when he was on the field. I thought Jean de Villiers was brilliant. And so lots of positives to take out of this tour. And I'm really hoping that we give the All Blacks a good hiding at Ellis Park, because they deserve it.